My name is Cory Steiger. I am a third-year scenic grad at Temple. This production of Silent Sky, though I'm working on the scenic design and the costume design. And really excited to start the semester with this amazing play. It's Silent Sky. It's a play by Lauren Gunderson. It's all about Henrietta Leavitt and some of her astronomer coworkers at Harvard in the turn of the century. So it's a great play about the contribution to the field of astronomy, as well as, you know, what it was like working in that field at that time for women. Yes, so a lot of the design for this show happened last semester, kind of towards the end, and this whole scenic design actually started as a class project. Before I even knew Silent Sky was being chosen for the season, I submitted it as a potential idea because I think it's a great play, but some of the design process was kind of unique for this because we knew the set was sort of going to be set in based on that design, but then the costumes was a new opportunity. And then because of the needs of the show, the props are very specific. They're all materials that would have been used at the time, very specific to the tools they would have used in that office, mapping out the stars. And so I knew a lot of these props would be sort of difficult to make or acquire, so I was able to make a really good connection with a theater in DC. The Ford's Theater was one of the first regional productions of Silent Sky done. And I reached out to the team at Ford's Theater and started to hear some maybes, some no's, and it's kind of one of those theater things. Magic happens when I talked to this person and talked to this person, and finally I got a hold of somebody who worked in the props department and said, sure, we actually have everything from when we did it, and it was all organized, and went to the prop storage facility and just had a really great collaboration with the Ford's Theater, and they were, you know, super thrilled to let us mount it at Temple using a lot of their props, which you'll see behind me. And yeah, it was just a really cool example of how theater design involves multiple artists and multiple collaborations, and I think it's interesting how they developed these props. They used a lot of materials that were real from the time, some real photo-negative plates that were part of this sort of rental, and so they were kind of explaining the steps that went into the props design. It was really, really fascinating. Yeah, they when I was talking to the props artisan, they did a lot of research of what plates were really used, what the glass plates themselves, and so it's realistic to think that some of these plates are antiques and could have been used by the real Henrietta Leavitt at the time, which is, you know, incredible for our performers to see, and just the whole deep dive of the historical accuracy of some of the things. And of course, everything is really well done, well made, so. Sure. The kind of root of this design is the expansiveness of the universe. Our main character is just overwhelmed by her discovery of, you know, we're such a little speck in our universe and our understanding of the universe. So for her to make the leaps at her time, really, I mean, she walked so Hubble could run. So all of her research and her discoveries, her late nights, I wanted the whole design to be kind of center her in the universe. So you'll see in the set, there's a lot of influence of the stars and of the night sky. It's ever present. When Lauren Gunderson wrote the play, she really wanted the feeling of being in the night sky and having the stars surround the story the whole time. So I wanted to kind of meld some of the like watercolor artistry into almost an impressionistic look. Almost evokes a little bit of Starry Night influence. So that was a big push with the design, was making you feel like you're in this small attic-like room, but you're always surrounded by the stars. I mean, even just looking at it from a prop standpoint, I'm opening up these books, and that you could tell they went to immaculate detail of writing out all of the data in the logbook. So the actors, when they pick up a prop, they're not only seeing, you know, something that looks accurate. There's actual data. There's actual dates in the notebooks. So I think it's going to give them, you know, it's something that maybe the audience won't see, but from an actor, I mean, it's really going to make you feel like you are part of the time. The music, the hymnals, I mean, all of these things feel antique, but they feel of a different time. So when you're combing through these things, you feel like you're almost in a museum, but you're looking at something that feels so distant today because we don't see a lot of these things. And the language in the show, it's just, I hope that audiences feel enveloped like they're almost watching like a PBS masterpiece is sort of the feeling of the show. And there's so much music involved in the show as well, so hopefully it'll be a moving experience with the props, the costumes, and the scenic elements all come together for a great show. So in our show, Silent Sky, two very important props we use are the star plates and the star spankers. So this looks like a little fly swatter, but really what they would do is take these star plates, which are like photo negatives, they would ship them to Harvard, where the women, the computers, would set them on stands, and they would literally map out painstakingly each star at a time. Each spanker has different sizes on it, so it's almost a measurement tool, and they would comb over the plate, and the size on the spanker corresponds to the size on the plate, and that lets you know the size of the star and the distance away from us. And they would, in their logbooks, write down all of that data and basically doing all the work of where the scientists would then you know, get the accolades. So it's really a story about a group of women who were doing all the work but not getting any of the recognition. And so this play is really an homage to Henrietta Leavitt and really all of the work that her and her colleagues did, Annie Cannon and Wilhelmina Fleming. And so these are just very, very specific kinds of props that we, you know, you can't just pull off a shelf in a prop warehouse. And they would just go plate by plate, spend hours and hours and hours. But these were some of the, just so you can see, these were some of the old plates. These are real antiques of what the real glass would be. Of course, when the props were developed for theater, it was more plexiglass, but these are real plates that would have been used, obviously cut up smaller. But I mean, real box. This box, you know, is antique from, you know, turn of the century, so it's real. This prop here is very specific to Silent Sky as well, because our lead character, Henrietta, is she was deaf. So this was a turn of the century hearing aid. So it would go in the actor's hair, and then since it's theater, it's magnetized, she needs to be able to take it on and off and put it up next to her ear, and this would clip on to her costume. This is definitely an interesting collaboration in costume and prop, because is it a prop, is it a costume? I think it's a little bit of both, and it would start on stage, but she would wear it as part of her costume. These are some of the notebooks, and you can just see the incredible detail. There's dates, as well as just the look of it, and of course the actors can write in there. We have some of the incredible work that the Ford's Theater did on the kind of the music. The Margaret Leavitt, Henrietta's sister, who's more of the stay-at-home. She's a homemaker, but she's also writing a symphony, and so a lot of the play is about her kind of developing her work while Henrietta is at Harvard, and the relationship the two women have living far away from each other. And just more, these are boxes. There's a scene where she drops one of the plates and it's supposed to break, so you can see there's already some broken plates in here to reveal to the audience that she, you know, broke the plate. And yeah, and these are the stands that the plates would go on, and then they would be able to sit at their desk and not have to, there would be like a light box behind it. So audiences might see this surface to kind of believe that they're actually looking and working at their desks. So a lot of the hand props from the show, these are things that, you know, we would see from a distance, but the audience might not pick up on. These are also some logbooks with some, you can see there's some data that the computers would have at their desk as they're charting through the stars, literally collecting everything, making connections. A lot of the show is about making connections, and not only professionally, but the relationships and the way the characters entwine with each other. And I like to think it's about for every connection that's made, there's also some that we lose. And so it's a beautiful show about humanity and kind of relevant today, even though this took place in, you know, the early 20th century. I think the themes of discovery and contribution and maybe feeling like you're a small peg in this giant like mechanism of the universe, I think it's really beautiful, and I think audiences will really be able to relate to what they see on stage, and hopefully they enjoy the props.
Opening up the little box, I just want to go.
Sure. And this is a case that in the show in the show Henrietta travels, so she goes home, but she brings her work with her. So it just shows that even though, you know, she's having to go home and take care of her dying father and support her sister, she doesn't give up on her dreams. She doesn't give up on her work. So she brings all of her plates with her, and this is just a nice way for her to store them. And obviously for actors' use, being able to have this extra step is really nice. So this is the start of the paint treatment for the set. As you can see, this is kind of the start of the night sky. We're going to have a backdrop that will go in the back of the theater that also depicts this night sky. But I really wanted the set to feel like you're walking into the universe. As Harvard, this back area will be sort of that academic interior. The floor area is reminiscent of kind of the ocean at night as well as the night sky, because there's certain sequences where we're on the ocean liner, and there are dream sequences, but also we see the universe as they discover the night.